Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is one that I'm super excited to film for you guys because today we are going to be doing our very first New Year's Eve party look. So I've actually never done a New Year's Eve party look on my channel. I'm actually very excited to film one. I've actually got a couple of days before New Year's Eve, so it's almost going to be a little bit of a trial for the makeup look that I'll probably be wearing. But I pulled out a whole bunch of things that I've never tried, and I thought today we'll sit down here and just see what we come up with. I'm kind of vibing some kind of dark smoky eye, probably black, maybe grey, but I'm very excited. So if you're curious to see how it turns out, then just continue watching. Okay, so starting off, I think I'm going to do things in a little bit of a weirder order for me today because all I know is I'm planning on doing some kind of black or grey smoky eye. So I think I'm going to start off with my brows, move into eyes, then my complexion, and then finish off with lips. So I think I'm just going to start off by prepping my lips with this. This is the MCOBEAUTY Hydrating Lip Treatment enriched with jojoba oil. This one here is just the clear. So here is what the container looks like. As you can see, it comes in this adorable little clear container. And then as you can see, it's got a nice large doe foot applicator. So I'm going to go right ahead and just apply that straight onto my lips. It actually smells quite nice. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in so we can start on the brows. So the brow product that I want to try today is this one right here. This is the MCOBEAUTY Precision Brow Superfine Pencil, and this one here is in the shade Medium Dark Universal. So on one side you can see it's got a little spoolie, so I'm just going to start by brushing up my brows. And then when I flip it over, you can see it's got a tiny little point tip applicator. So I'm just going to start drawing in a few little faux hairs. So here is how the brows have turned out with just the pencil, and as you can see, the pencil actually was quite nice. It was able to get me those kind of hair-like strokes. It was super fast and the pencil isn't very waxy at all. I would say in some parts of the brow it's looking just a teeny bit warm for my hair. My hair's kind of like a neutral tone. This one's a little tiny bit warm, but for how affordable this pencil was, that is actually quite a nice finished result. And then next, to start setting the brows, I want to try this brow product right here. This is the MCOBEAUTY Magic Brows Brush On Fiber Gel Water Resistant Long Wearing Buildable. This one here is in the shade Medium to Dark. So here is what the container looks like. As you can see, it's a tiny little brow gel, and then the wand looks like this. So you can see it's a tiny little brow applicator, and I don't know if you can see, but it's got these teeny tiny little microscopic hairs. So I'm going to start brushing that right through my brows, focusing the color mainly on the outer half of my brow. And only bringing the excess inwards. So there is the before and after of the brows, and you can see it actually toned them down a little bit deeper and it's not so red, so I actually like that too. So the only two products that won't be new in this makeup look are actually going to be my two VIEVE eye wands. These are the VIEVE eye wands in the shades Sand and Raven. So starting off with the shade Sand, I'm taking that directly underneath the brow bone. And then to blend that out, I'm taking some of my Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes brushes, which I love. So starting off, I'm grabbing this big fluffy brush, which is the number 07, and I'm taking that to start blending out that eye base. And then next I'm grabbing the shade Raven, which you can see is a pitch black color, and I'm actually going to take that all over the lid. And then I'm taking the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes number 13 brush, and I'm going to start buffing that out. And then I'd recommend just layering that up until you get the intensity that you want. So I think I'm quite happy with this shape. As you can see, I'm not too worried about the lower lash line. We're going to deal with that in a second. But I kind of wanted kind of like an angular shape for my eye preference. So next, moving on to some powder shadows, I'm going to be taking my Dose of Colors Pretty Cool eyeshadow palette. This is cruelty-free, paraben-free, and talc-free. So this one actually comes in their newer packaging, so you can see it's now this kind of suede matte finish. Their original ones used to come looking like this, and as you can see, it shows all my fingerprints because it's in the shiny metallic finish, so I'm so happy they transitioned over. So here is what the inside of the palette looks like. As you can see, it comes with 5 cool tone shades and a brush. So I'm first taking this brush here, which is the Katie Jane Hughes in Spectrum number 11 brush. And I'm tapping into the lightest shade in the palette, which is called Taupeless. And I'm going to start popping that through the crease. Next, I'm grabbing the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes number 19 brush. And I'm tapping into the 4th shade in the palette, which is called Fine Print. And I'm popping that deeper into the crease. So next I'm actually grabbing a black eyeshadow, so I'm moving into the Dose of Colors Smoky Soiree eyeshadow palette. This one here is cruelty-free, paraben-free, talc-free, and also gluten-free. Here is what the inside of the Smoky Soiree palette looks like. As you can see, it's got 5 different shadows and a double-ended brush. So next I'm taking the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes number 12 brush. And I'm patting that into the matte black, which is called Midnight. And I'm going to start packing that all over my lid. Wow, look at the difference. That is such a nice matte black shadow. You can see how rich this eye is versus the other. That is very impressive. And then I'm just grabbing that same previous brush with whatever residual product is on it, and I'm just starting to lightly buff out the black. So before I go and clean up my under eyes, I'm actually going to start putting some liner in my upper and lower waterlines. So this is the Dose of Colors eyeliner in the shade Caviar. So I'm going to start off by placing that in my lower waterline first. That was so easy to do. That is such a rich black creamy liner. I like that a lot. So I'm going to go right ahead and start filling my upper tight line. I'm going to really make sure I can't see any skin between my upper lashes and my upper lash line. You can literally see such a direct difference between how much more smoldery this eye looks than this eye. I feel like really making sure that that whole rim is tight lined and waterlined really nice and pitch black just gives you so much more intensity. So you can see from my under eyes, I don't really have any fallout, which is quite surprising because it's so black, but I'm just going to take a tissue and I'm going to very gently just try to remove anything that maybe I can't see. Yeah, that's pretty minimal. Okay, so now that my under eyes are cleaned up, I'm actually going to do some liquid liner now. This one here is the Tarte Man-Eater liquid eyeliner in the shade Black. So here is what the tip looks like. As you can see, it's a tiny, teeny little brush tip applicator. As you can see, my upper lash line is super dark and pitch black, so I'm not too fussed on a wing. So I'm just going to go right ahead and start really lining my upper lash line. You guys, this is brand new. I'm hoping it's just gonna take a little while to activate, but That's like empty. So maybe that's a no, because that is dry. So I definitely don't think I like that liner, but what I did is I put it upside down in a brush cup and I'm hoping the ink will drain to the tip and it will start working. But I just took some more black shadow and pressed that up against my upper lash line because my lash line is dark enough. I didn't really need the liner, but the liner kind of removed just a tiny bit of what was up there. But I'm hoping I actually like the mascara from that same lineup a little bit better. So this is the Tarte Man Eater Voluptuous Mascara in the shade Black. So here is what the packaging looks like. It is actually super, super pretty. I love the gold, the black, and the pink. And then the wand, interesting, looks like this. For some reason, when I read Voluptuous Mascara, that is not at all what I thought the wand would look like. It actually looks quite dry of a formula, and it's actually kind of got shorter and longer bristles. So we'll see if this works. So I'm going to go right ahead and start applying that to my upper lashes for now. So far, so good. I actually think I might like this mascara. It's a little bit more of a drier formula and it's definitely quite black as well. I was a little worried when I initially saw the wand because it's that kind of plastic, rubbery, bristled wand and they normally hurt my eyes and stab my lash line, but this one was actually quite soft and it didn't hurt at all. And I was actually thinking that maybe the wand was a little bit too big for my eyes, but it's actually not too messy either. So far, I'd say it's really good for length and volume, not so much for thickness, but we'll see how it goes for the lower lash line in a little bit. Alright, so finishing up the upper lashes, I pulled out the most dramatic set of lashes that I haven't tried yet. These are the Gemma Isabella Cosmetics Drip-In Eyelashes. These lashes are so pretty, but oh my goodness, they are so dramatic. So let's do a before and after. So here are my eyes without the lashes. And then here are my eyes with the lashes on. These are so big and full and voluminous and I'm kind of obsessed with them. So I don't know if I'm transitioning into bigger lashes, but these are so comfortable, especially for how big they are. They do not feel heavy whatsoever. Okay, so I zoomed you guys out so we can start on our base. So I actually wanted to try out this kit that I picked up quite a while ago. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea 4-piece value set. This one actually comes with the Quench Hydrating Primer, the Water Foundation, the 4-in-1 Setting Mist, and the Quench Sponge. So I think let's try out this kit today. You guys, it is so cute. This is a deluxe sample of the Tarte Quench Hydrating Primer. It says that it hydrates for 12 hours, extends wear of foundation, and it helps hydrate and smooth with hyaluronic acid. So I'm going to take some of that into the tips of my fingers. As you can see, it is a super liquidy primer. So I'm going to go right ahead and rub that between my tips of my fingers and apply that straight onto my skin. That literally feels like I'm wetting my face with water. It also has a really fresh scent. And then for foundation, inside of the kit, I got to pick which shade of this foundation I wanted to try. This is the Tarte High Performance Naturals Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. And the shade that I chose is 29G Light Medium Golden. On the back of the kit, it says medium coverage and natural finish, 20% water-based formula, and a 12-hour wear makeup. So here is what the bottle looks like. As you can see, it comes in a dropper packaging with a blue tip. And once again, the shade that I picked up is 29G Light Medium Golden. And then on the inside of the kit, it also came with a sponge. So this one here they call the Quench Sponge. So here is what the sponge looks like up close, and as you can see it's pretty squishy, not too bouncy, not too stiff. So here is what it looks like when it's dry. And then here is what it looks like when it's wet. So you can see it actually puffed up quite a nice amount and got a lot more bouncy, so that's very, very, very exciting. So I'm going to start by shaking up the bottle. I'm going to press the little tip and then I'm going to go right ahead and open it. It looks like it's kind of slightly spilled out onto the top. So let's see if I can grab a little bit more product. And I'm going to pop it onto the back of my hand. So there is what the texture looks like. As you can see, it's super runny again. One thing to note is I actually really like the shape of this sponge. It's actually really flat on the top. Normally they're a little bit more domed. I wonder if you can tell if I kind of tilt it to the side and then back again, but it's super flat and it's a perfect circle, which I think is going to fit really, really nicely. The only thing that I'm worried about is it did say that it's 20% liquid, like it's 20% water. So I'm curious why they chose a sponge, because a sponge is designed to absorb, but we'll see. So let's tap it straight into the foundation. You can see it pretty much absorbed it straight away. And I'm going to start patting that onto my cheek. It actually has pretty great coverage, so it seems to work literally perfect with a sponge, so that's good. I'm going to take a little bit more product and I'm going to start applying that to my forehead. So there is what half of the skin looks like with the foundation on and then no foundation on the other side. And you can actually see it has a lot of coverage and it's actually a little bit more on the matte side, which I actually also find quite shocking. So I actually think it looks really smooth. The color's maybe just a tiny, teeny bit kind of warm for me, but honestly, I know once I've got some concealer and bronzer on, it'll all come together, but that actually looks really smooth. So for the other side, let's try a brush. This one here is the Real Techniques number 200 Expert Face Brush. So once again, I'm going to take about a pipette of that on the back of my hand. I'm going to take my brush and tap straight into the product. And I'm going to apply that straight onto this half of my face. So there is what this half of my face looks like using the brush, and as you can see from the back of my hand, I still have some reminiscent product from that first pipette. So you can see the coverage is a lot stronger on the brush side versus the sponge side, and funnily enough, the brush side you can see is actually a lot more glowy than the sponge side. So that's so interesting because I would have thought the sponge would have been glowier. So moving on to concealer, I wanted to try out this one right here. This is the Tarte C Hydro Concealer, and this one here is in the shade 20S Light Sand. Here is what the container looks like, and I've got to say I actually think this might be the cutest concealer container ever. It's actually a little bit more of like an ovular shape. It's super, super pretty. So once again, this is the shade 20S Light Sand, and the applicator looks like this. So you can see it's a bent doe foot applicator. So I'm going to start by applying a little bit underneath the eyes. That is such a strange sensation. That concealer is actually very cold and cooling underneath the eyes, and the formula was actually a little bit thicker than I expected. So I'm just going to start blending out my under eyes first using that same foundation brush. That looks so nice, you guys. That is so easy to blend. I'm also going to take that concealer and pop a little bit between the brows, down the center of the nose and around the chin. And then once again, I'm taking that same brush to blend that out. Yeah, that is a very, very nice concealer. I have never heard anyone talk about this or say anything about it. I just picked it up on a whim quite a while ago, and I'm hoping they still sell it, because if not, then that sucks, because that is such a nice concealer. Okay, so moving on to some powder, I've got this one here to try out. This is the Tarte High Performance Naturals Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation, and the shade that I picked up is Light Sand, which is light skin with yellow undertones. So here is what the packaging looks like. As you can see, it comes in a brown container with this really pretty design and Tarte on top. It's actually got a screw top lid, and then it actually says something in here. It says, experience the power of Amazonian clay for better, longer, truer wear. And then it just says to pull this to remove. So here is what the powder looks like. As you can see, it comes out of this net. It does claim to be a full coverage powder, so I'm taking a really large brush. This is the MCOBEAUTY Pro Full Powder Brush, and I'm going to really lightly tap into the powder. Tap it off. And then I'm going to start lightly setting my cheeks. So far it doesn't seem to be darkening my foundation at all, which is good, because sometimes full coverage powder foundations, or just powders in general, the second you put them onto a wet surface, they tend to really darken up, and you can see this one isn't doing that, which is really good. And then to make sure that I don't darken my under eyes, I'm actually going to take this powder, which I've already tried. This is the MCOBEAUTY Brighten and Correct Banana Powder. So I'm taking this brush here, which is the Zoeva 110 Face Shape Brush, into the powder. And I'm going to start setting my under eyes using that powder. I'm also just going to lightly brighten the center of my forehead and the bridge of my nose, and just lightly around the mouth. So moving on to the cheeks, I wanted to try out this palette right here. This is the Tarte Hamptons Weekender Contour Palette, and it's got a highlighter, a blush, and a bronzer. So I'm first grabbing the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes No. 5 brush. And I'm tapping into the bronzer called Farmer's Market. And I'm going to start bronzing up my cheeks. I'm also taking a little bit by the sides of my nose. And then a little bit by my jawline. Next I'm grabbing the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes No. 8 brush. And I'm tapping into the top shade here called Beach Getaway. And I'm going to start highlighting the top of my cheekbone. So I'm actually thinking I might actually switch over highlighters, because I think the tone on me actually looks a little bit grey. It's interesting because from the front I'm not seeing any weird cast here or here, and it doesn't look like the tone is too dark, but for some reason in the pan it looks a little bit more champagne pink, but on my skin it's actually looking a little bit kind of grey silver. So it's not exactly what I'm going for today, so I might actually switch highlights. So I think I'm actually going to switch over to this highlight right here. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed in the shade Opal. So I'm going to take that same brush and tap into this highlighter. And apply that to the tops of my cheekbones. Yeah, that's so much better. I'm also going to take a little bit down the center of my nose and my Cupid's bow. And then finally, to try out the blush, I'm going to take this brush here, which is the Real Techniques Cheek Brush, and I'm tapping into the shade Summer House, and I'm patting that onto my cheeks. So next I'm grabbing the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes No. 17 brush. And I'm going back into the Pretty Cool palette, and I'm taking the second shade along, which is called Let's Chill. And I'm applying that to my lower lash line. Next I'm taking the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes No. 21 brush. And I'm tapping into the middle shade here, which is called Sign Off. And I'm applying that even closer to the lower lash line. And then lastly, with the same brush, I'm tapping into the final shade in the palette, which is called Smoke Show. And I'm applying that as close to my lower waterline as I can possibly get it. So I just touched up my lower waterline eyeliner, and now I'm taking that same man-eater mascara for my lower lashes. Yeah, that works really, really well for the lower lashes. I'm just hoping it won't smudge. Okay, so moving on to lips, I want to pair this dark eye with a nude lip. So I'm going in with my Dose of Colors lip liner in the shade Dime, which I haven't tried yet. So I'm going to take that lip liner and I'm going to start lining my lips. That lip liner is literally me in a lip liner. It's that kind of greyish brown beige tone and I love it. So to fill in the lips, I'm going to mix two different colours. These are the Tarte High Performance Naturals Rainforest of the Sea Drench Lip Splash lipsticks. And the two shades that I'm going to be mixing are Skinny Dip and Cabana Boy. So here are the two shades. This one here is Skinny Dip and this one here is Cabana Boy. So I'll go right ahead and swatch them for you. So here is Skinny Dip. And then here is Cabana Boy. So there is what the two shades look like. So I'm going to start by putting the shade Skinny Dip right in the center. And then I'm taking the shade Cabana Boy on the outer halves. And then I'm going to take my finger to blend the two together. And then to add just a tiny bit of gloss, I wanted to try out this product right here. This is the MCOBEAUTY Pout Gloss Ultra Shine Lip Gloss in the shade Clear. Here is what the packaging looks like. As you can see, it's super simple and minimalistic. And then the doe foot looks like this. So you can see it's a nice big fluffy doe foot. So I'm going to take that straight onto the tip of my finger and I'm going to apply that straight onto the lip. It does smell delicious. It kind of reminds me of those strawberries and cream Chupa Chups. And then the last thing we have to do is set our face. So I'm grabbing the little mini deluxe sample from the kit earlier. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea 4-in-1 setting mist. On the back of the box it says primes, sets, hydrates and refreshes. Locks down makeup for 12 hours. Smooths and softens with marine plant extracts. So that's that one there. So I'm going to shake the bottle up. And I'm going to start setting my face. So yeah guys, this is the finished New Year's Eve 2022 to 2023 glam, and I've got to say I'm so obsessed with the finished result. It is so dark and smoky and completely different from anything I've done on my channel, and it's definitely super glam and I feel like it's giving Morticia, Wednesday Addams, that type of thing, but I'm definitely okay with it. I cannot believe another year is over. 2023 is literally right around the corner and it is absolutely tripping me out, but I hope you guys had an awesome 2022 and I hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you did enjoy this video, then you guys know what to do. Please feel free to leave me a like, comment and leave any requests that you have down below in the comment bar. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell and drag all the way down to all to become a part of this family and be notified of all my future videos. And I will see you guys in 2023. Bye guys. Precision Para. Wow, I can't read today, you guys. My Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes brushes. Wow. Every time. So seeing as my lish. Was I just doing the back? I've got a feeling I was. Through a hailstorm, hail and thunder, Morticia Addams prevails.